Whether you love or loathe factions, tributes, Team Jacob, and the like, young adult movies are here to stay, even if some of them aren't that good. Taking the #1 spot this week is Insurgent, the second movie in the Divergent franchise, bringing in a remarkable $54 million and tying the debut weekend total of the first film in the series. Both films in the Divergent franchise have taken hits from critics for looking a lot like The Hunger Games, except worse.
This doe-eyed teenage heroine must lead a revolt against a ruthless dictator who... Wait, guys, we did this one already. It's The Hunger Games.
No, John, it's not The Hunger Games.
It's the same movie, and it's not only the same movie, it's the same movie plucked from other movies you've seen a million times. It feels a lot like a junior varsity Hunger Games.
The Rotten Tomatoes score sits at 32%, and the critics' consensus is that this sequel is, quote, a step back for a franchise struggling to distinguish itself from the dystopian young adult crowd. But here's the best part, that young adult crowd couldn't care less. Critics be damned, audiences around the US and the world are not only going to see Insurgent, but they're even enjoying it. Insurgent boasts about a 70% audience approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and in its debut weekend, the second installment in the Divergent series cracked the $100 million mark in worldwide box office ticket sales. Now, the Divergent series isn't pulling off Hunger Games box office numbers or critical acclaim, but it is most certainly making a profit. Next up,
Cinderwench, Dirty Ella, Cinderella.
The Disney classic reboot Cinderella remains in the top 3 this week, but falls to the #2 spot, bringing in an estimated $34 million. The 2015 version of the 19th century classic is nothing new story-wise. From the sparkly glass slipper to the shape-shifting mice, this is the same fairy tale you're used to, and the New York Times and others say that's alright. Plus, unlike some of the other iterations of Cinderella,
do you believe in love at first sight?
I'll let you know.
It seems critics and audiences alike love the classic story when it's done correctly, meaning without Hilary Duff. And lastly, Sean Penn and Liam Neeson turned the old folks' home on its head in the fight for third place.
Listen to your father for one night. One night.
Sean Penn's The Gunman missed the third place spot this weekend by less than $100,000, which means Liam Neeson, Ed Harris, and their respective walkers take the #3 spot with Run All Night, bringing in an estimated $5.1 million. Run All Night and The Gunman, despite competing this weekend, in many ways mirror each other. Both R-rated films follow the Taken formula, making a seasoned actor the main attraction of the action film. Both films also did extraordinarily poor in their opening weekends, falling behind studio expectations. As for next week, Prison for Dummies with Kevin Hart.
Let me see what your mad dog face look like.
What is a mad dog?
You're mad dog! Ah! What are you doing, James?
Sad dogging you. I think that's a strategy that could work.
For Newsy, I'm Jamal Andrus.